celebration of 50 years of independence, there was a groundswell of emotion. Company of Good was really the movement to tap this energy. Whether we are individual, we're in the community, or we're the part of the company, actually it can be a force of doing good.
In 2016, our vision mission statement was a giving nation. People thought of giving nation as giving money. And I said, that's not what it's about. What is it collectively we want for Singapore? We then said we need to have a rethink.
So we actually have to think very creatively and catalytically about what it is that we do, and we have to think about how do we partner and how do we leverage partnerships. We understood that there is individuals that can give, which of course is very important, but there's also that which companies can give, which can be much more impactful.
One of the things that Company of Good definitely stood for was to bring together a community of all these CSR practitioners and leaders. Through their like-mindedness, we started to develop a Company of Good Fellowship.
So I'm from the pioneer batch of the fellowship.
So the fellowship is a journey where you start with strangers, and then you come up from there in a part of a community equipped with both knowledge and network to lead your company forward in doing good. The community of fellow participants brought diverse views.
You know, across the value chain in a business, there were leaders from every sphere. That was actually quite a shift in my thinking. This is how you actually integrate purpose into every aspect of the organization. So in fact, the action project that I did for the fellowship went on to become one of our biggest global successes.
We joined from the very start, and I believe we were in the first batch of being champions of good, and about 10% of our workforce would fall under the wider definition of inclusive employment.
I said this is a great platform and forum to drive programmatic change across the country, to get a lot of like-minded companies together, to get a lot of people who want to participate in being bigger than themselves, and we have a central agency which can catalyze all of this. That's why we became supporters from almost the very beginning.
COVID gave companies at that time a deep understanding about purpose and their purpose within society.
We pivoted from corporate giving to corporate purpose in the process of going through the COVID period. How do we take that to help us emerge stronger?
When the AFA was formed, and I was invited to co-chair, the first thing I did was to try and think of which are the companies in Singapore whose leaders demonstrate exactly what all companies can move towards. Together, NVPC and ourselves, we managed to get not only MNCs, but we have local companies, big and small.
And over that period of about a year for the AFA, we actually went through many consultations. I remember even in early 2022, we ran a leadership dialogue to take stock and to again share from the advisors, from the participants, where this AFA was going.
It was a real honor to be asked to be an advisor to this group. In part, I was interested because bringing purpose into business through a government-endorsed framework is something new in the world.
Some of them may not know how. We need a national framework, and NBPC to be part of the leadership to help the companies in Singapore. When you do good for the community and climate, there's synergy.
The corporate purpose framework is crucial. The output of that is very comprehensive.
We hope to see a fundamental change in terms of the business paradigm. And that led to the Company of Good Summit.
We're here today to launch the Corporate Purpose Framework and Blueprint. Today marks 2 years of work by the Singapore Together Alliance for Action on Corporate Purpose, called the AFACP.
I feel every country needs many companies of good to be part of its total fabric of solutions. We need to understand that business and society need to work in concert with each other.
The work that NVPC and the Company of Good came together to create was a birth of what we now and what Prime Minister has now called a We First society.
What are we here for? I
I think the leaders have got to believe it. They've got to live it in their daily lives.
We've been involved in various COG platforms, whether that's Chief Changemaker or Project V. But at the same time, I think the whole idea was to kind of diffuse, because the more change agents we have, the more we'll be able to drive impact and change in the organization.
When we returned from the Chief Changemaker program, we were invited to be part of a Queen Bee program to facilitate and encourage other companies, particularly in the food and beverage sector, to consider becoming inclusive employers.
One activity that stood out is actually the joint CSR that we did with 5 of our business partners. Definitely we'll continue doing it with different partners each year to expand on the outreach as well as to create a multiplier effect.
Now I see that more and more companies are doing it on a permanent basis. They are increasingly looking at how giving back should be part of the business function.
Enterprises that want to have a license to operate in the next 10 years, the core of it shouldn't be just about dollars and cents. It has to be more than that. Otherwise, you won't get through the tough times also.
You have to start and correct your mental model. The going good is doing the right things which allow you to create long-term value for society and customers.
Corporate purpose and impact making as an organization was baked into our DNA. What actually is corporate purpose? I think it's in not what you do, but in how you do it. Creating much better businesses, much better societies.
It is better to reframe your way of working, not just to look at shareholders, but also to look at other stakeholders where you impact in the way you do business and be part of this company of good movement.
When I first came to work, of course, you walk down the long corridor and I would see this colorful mural. It was interesting because the words were, "Where the river flows, there is life." And of course, the MVPC office is located along the Singapore River. The river actually brings life. I would like to think of MVPC as doing work that is life-giving.
We want to encourage MVPC to be the leader of the corporate sectors, philanthropy, voluntary movements, so that all of it can come together.
Singapore is unique in many ways. We're today one of the most prosperous countries in the world. But do we do the same thing with society and our social fabric?
We're all in it together. We're all part of this. This is where we belong. This is our home. People who believed in the cause for all of us to see what it means by the city of good.
We started from very modest beginnings, but 10 years has been tremendous in terms of seeing how momentum has built up over time. The momentum will continue to grow. More companies are going to be doing good in society and uplifting individuals and strengthening communities.